Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is actually a re-commentary. Couldn't balance the audio if you saw this one before, but gonna try again, and I can use the practice either way on my League of Legends commentary casting like that, stumbling over my words. Anyway, this is gonna be Team Gosu versus Team CLG. This is from the IEM qualifiers. By the way, check out clggaming.net as well as I'm trying to remember what Team Gosu's website is. It'll be in the description. Go support both these teams, by the way. Amazing guys, just absolutely fantastic players. Hotshot GGG, Chowster, Big Fat GG Elements, and Saint Vicious. Going to be fielding Mordekaiser, Ashe, Orianna, Alistair, Gangplank. I will have vision of them. Amumu, Rumble, Malzahar, Taric, Caitlyn being played by Excessive Raiden, Yuna, Zuna, and Araragi. You can see Flash across the board, Smite, which just means Amumu's going to be in the jungle. And really powerful jungle at that. But he is going to be blue buff dependent. So he needs that mana regeneration. It also helps with that cooldown. A little bit of comset. That shield, or that cloth armor is going to in fact confirm, yes, he's going into the jungle. Mordekaiser is going to be top lane, very likely. Actually, definitely. And he's tanky. He can do a lot of magic damage. On top of that, he just absorbs so much damage. And if he can land that ult, and if they can focus down either the magic damage carry, that being Malzahar, or the attack damage, range attack damage carry, it completely turns around team fights, because all of a sudden you have an additional character that can just pound away either at the turret, because your opponents are most likely in retreat, or just crush everything in general. He's one of those characters where you might want to ignore them, but sometimes when you ignore him, you pay for it. And you also have to engage him from kind of a surround position. You can't just attack him heads up, eat all of that damage in a cone, otherwise he's just gonna laugh at you and sit in tons of shield. So I love Mordekaiser, particularly in the top lane. I think he has basically the strongest lane presence of any of the characters. Team CLG, by the way, gathering up. It looks like they're going, knowing that Amumu's a blue buff based champion in his jungle, they're going to deny him some experience down the line. They're going to take the small golems, which are going to take away a little bit of experience, as well as the red buff. And the red buff is really a significant thing, because that doesn't respawn all that often. And as a result, Amumu, he's going to have an empty jungle. He's going to be either looking to swing out and try to gank someone with probably a less than effective gank, or at the same time, he'll just have to continue on the jungle sometime, or maybe even overextend himself, something along those lines. So also, if they give the red buff to any of these characters in lane, it can really, if they give it to Gangplank, excuse me, it can support his jungling, make it a little bit faster, a little bit more powerful. Looks like Forrest's going to still sit here. And on top of that, basically, yeah, it's just a good play all the way around, particularly knowing Amumu on the opposite side. And I think it's one of the main reasons that teams have been working away from Amumu and feeling like in the metagame he's a little bit more difficult to... on top of that, I think a lot of people, just because he's been around for so long, people have been using him so almost exclusively for a while as a tank, that a lot of teams have gotten more used to coping with him. They know to spread out and not group up. Yes, Saint Vicious taking the red buff, Ashe going to that bottom lane. Middle lane, Big Fat GG grouping up. Yuna's already pushed enough creep waves, as well as some support experience maybe from helping at blue buff to get level 2. So a little bit of level advantage, but Elements immediately jumping in, igniting, popping him up. Yuna trying to get out, wasted a flash on top of everything else. Oh man, terrible start for Yuna. Great start for Big Fat GG. First of all, First Blood going to give her a lot of bonus gold. Also, that's going to equalize whatever experience she might have lost there. Taric coming up has to feel a little bit stupid. Top lane. Talking about top lane, so on the opposite side, and I actually got to correct myself, I completely forgot about the fact in the original commentary I did that Rumble silences himself when he overheats, but he has a lot of slow on-hit effects, so he's really good at applying all sorts of slow. He can also do some of that nice damage and be really actually kind of speedy for a guy that's so beefy and so tanky. Mordekaiser the same way on the opposite side, and so he's a really good choice for top lane. Unfortunately, going up against Mordekaiser, again, he's just so strong in the solo lane. He's really hard to cope with. So you'll most likely dominate, well, you'll most likely be pushing back this front lane. I'm not sure that Zuna's going to get a lot accomplished. Just heads up 1v1 on that top corner. Yuna versus Gosu. Big Fat GG, I think, will have the advantage at least a little bit early. That, well, we'll see how it works out. Ooh, nice hit there. Orianna can just unload all sorts of damage. She has that nice little protect spell with her ball, so she's also very mobile and very pokey, so even when retreat, she can throw that ball out, and even while retreating, damage her opponents, which I think is absolutely fantastic as a ranged caster. Missing a last hit right there. But Malzahar, once he hits level 6 with that suppress, he can be very dangerous. Flash and get a suppress, that plus a gank, and it's almost a guaranteed kill on that opposite corner. So he can be very dangerous. Also, he has that silence, that Voidling's always annoying, and he has that great, I think it's Malfic Vision can pop in. He also has, once you see the giant spiral on the ground here and there to farm the creeps, not going to see it here very quickly, probably going to preserve mana, but does basically percentage of health damage over time on whoever's sitting on that. And you put that in combination with the Mumu. If Mumu can get a stun off, stun a large group of people, and that can get plopped down, all of a sudden it's a very difficult situation. Another gank attempt on Yuna mid lane. Vicious has the shield, pressing forward, not quite able to deliver on the kill though. Looks like he's going to back off, continue on jungle, has forced him off lane. That's going to be more experience denial. Taric going up to support, actually pulling, or actually, sorry, not Taric, Mumu out of the jungle coming to support. This bottom lane though is really going to be the best lane for Team Gosu. The Caitlyn Taric, because of this reason right there, the Caitlyn Taric combination is so abusive. Taric is one of the best supports. First of all, great range stun. On top of that, when Caitlyn drops that trap underneath when an opponent is stunned, they're immediately snared. They're just kept in place immediately after that. They take magic damage, and Caitlyn can just pound away from a distance. So Chauster is going to be eating, this is again, Chauster is going to end up eating a lot of damage. He's going to need those heals. I love this word placement to see if Taric's pulling off lane or sweeping around. Looks like he's just pulling off to do clairvoyance right there. But Elements is going to need to headbutt Caitlyn or Taric if they get too close. They're going to need to continuously heal, and in the meantime, Caitlyn should be free to control the bushes and free farm. Top lane still a little bit of damage happening there. I think a ping to say of Mumu. This is at the stage where Mumu might be coming out of the jungle to looking for a gank. And keep in mind, he doesn't have a red buff to go to, so might be looking for something to accomplish. Actually, I might have missed that timing window, but we'll see. So they need to be very careful, and let's see. And it looks like, yeah, he is going to be to the south, missing the grab. And Elements is now going to pull out of lane. Chauster feeling, well, just going to sit there, try to get accomplished what she can. St. Vicious swing towards the top, and Rumble's played very passively on this turret, I would say out of necessity. And we'll see if that continues to be the case. Big Fat GG has hit level 6. Yuna just slightly behind. We'll see him hit level 6 in not too long. Again, that makes him extremely dangerous. And he's a hard character to tower dive as well, because if he can get good position, do a suppress, you tower dive, a lot of times you'll end up dead. So Vicious there with the support on top lane, just in case any action was happening here. It doesn't look like anything is going to come of it though. And Zuna still actually probably got a ton of health potions, knowing he's going to face Mordekaiser up here. They're going to back off. They're looking for, did in fact catch a Mumu and Yuna up there. Good call by Vicious to be in position to deal with it. One thing I love about Gangplank in the jungle is once he hits level 6, he doesn't necessarily have to be in position to support like that as well. He can drop that ultimate. He can drop that ultimate and basically anywhere globally on the map, which is really, really fantastic. And he's just got that burst damage that he can apply, which is really fantastic when you're talking about trying to empty that Mordekaiser shield, things like that. One thing I do want to say for Team Gosu though is you have Yuna, whose ultimate leaves them somewhat vulnerable, as well as Caitlyn. Both of their ultimates leave them somewhat vulnerable on the field. So when you're talking about team fights, basically their ultimates are more cleanup abilities more than anything, where you have Ashe, who has that great initiation, that opposite side with their ultimate. So really the initial engagement is going to be everything, and it looks like, Hotshot GG getting caught out of position, 1 versus 2. Aragi able to help Zuna finish off that kill. Yes, the ultimate was used, but Zuna easily going to be able to eat that damage. Very nice play. It looks like Orianna, in the meantime, in the mid lane, has worked up towards a Catalyst. Just bringing up the creep score, by the way. Caitlyn sitting at 50 over... well, Ashe is actually caught up nicely at just 41 for Ashe in the opposite corner. It looks like they are out of bottom lane. Otherwise, I'd expect them to be pushing them. I'm wondering if there's going to be a gank on mid. St. Vicious is somewhat nearby. I think his ultimate is still up. Okay, there's Caitlyn and Taric. Actually lost track of them for just a moment. Caitlyn working on Doran's Blades, absolutely necessary to get some of that bonus health, as well as that lifesteal. She's such a low health champion. Ashe, same thing on the opposite corner. More often than not, you will see Ashe just push straight for that Infinity Edge, though. It looks like she is actually we're probably going to see her grab some Doran's Blade to support this. I'm surprised she might be able to skip them with Alistar here in lane, playing very cautiously. Alistar going for a Philosopher's Stone to get some of that gold over time, because he's not going for any creep seals, just giving all of the creeps over to that Ashe as best as possible. Actually opening up with a Doran's Ring. Same sort of concept with the Doran's Blade. All the Doran's items basically like that. Orianna going for some Stain, most likely going to work to Rod of Ages to be a little bit more beefy to start here, and also to get some of that AP damage over the line. So over the line. Currently, so Big Fat GG, yeah, it's getting pushed back, it looks like, a little bit on that minion line. Looks like Elements is swinging somewhat nearby, worrying perhaps about an attempt, a gank attempt. Looks like he's starting to shift towards north. Looks like Excessive is continuing to free farm on the bottom. Ashe out of position, Alistar out of position as well. The entire team, though, in the opposite corner for Team Gosu is gone. It's missing. They're invisible. So a very, very scary situation. It looks like Zuna has managed to get up to that Hextech Revolver, going to give him a bit of lifesteal. Mordekaiser working towards that as well, not quite there yet. And actually looking at the creep kill difference between those two, Rumble at 49. Ooh, just barely an arrow miss. Wish I could have seen that from bottom lane. Caitlyn pushing up, and it looks like they got an exhaust to stun. Looks like Ashe is able to flash out. She's actually opened up with a Modred's Razor. Let's see if they're actually going to dive it. Queuing over the corner. Not going to happen. Trying to ult, but Elements is going to be able to block. Nice job. Nice defense. Berserker Greaves also for Caitlyn gives her a bit of speed, increased attack damage as well. Raiden throwing out some Clairvoyance just to get some good look on the map. GG pressed out, and again, most of Team Gosu a little bit missing, and actually have lost track of them. Interesting play here. Modred's Razor earlier from Ashe. It's possible she is going to go for the Blood Razor for a lot of quick percentage damage, health over time, increased attack speed. But what we also might see, which has been very popular lately, is the early, and it looks like Orianna going to get blue buff here from St. Fish's. Again, mana regen, slow cooldown, so Ragi coming in the north, but that ward extremely well placed. Gonna see him moving up, and that's gonna force Mordekaiser back. He's just gonna hug that turret in the meantime. Malzahar pushing mid lane, but Big Fat GG right there, needs to be careful. Ragi's still gonna go up. No, Hotshot, well, he's got it spotted out. I'm surprised he's actually engaging that. A little bit of action around the dragon, some wards being placed. St. Vicious is there, but he's very likely not going to engage now that he's in full vision. Another ward, I like that, planted at that kind of corner spot, and you can see when Tarek's pushing up with Caitlyn, maybe to either do gank it, again, to pull off to do gank, maybe to support Dragon, things like that. But anyway, getting to this, Regal's Lantern might be the other item down the line. When you see several Regal's Lantern, one that makes Dragon a lot easier to kill, but it also gives, it's a very cost-effective item, actually, as far as just armor, lifesteal, lets you a little bit be a little bit more durable, and on top of that, it can open up, especially when you have more than one on the opposite team, it can open up Baron a lot faster. It looks like we have a Blasting Wand opening up. Unit getting pushed off lane, just going for whatever he can. There's a stun by Aragi on that corner. There's a suppress as well, and Big Fat GG dead. And there was an attempted support there a little bit late from St. Vicious, but just not enough. Not going to get it accomplished, and that is going to open up a Dragon take for Team Gosu to start here. They do not want to engage this. Chouster and Alistair do not want to press that turret in the meantime, because you've got 4 very nearby that can just swing down. So everyone at Dragon. So first Dragon going to go to Team Gosu. They're currently up 2 deaths to 1, and that plus Dragon, which is going to give them a lot of bonus gold. They're actually sitting pretty, and on top of that, Caitlyn at 95 as far as the minion creep score, and 67 compared for Ashe. Ashe is opening up, in fact, that Regal's Lantern, but keep in mind that slows down some of those heavier attack items, specifically the Infinity Edge, things like that. And that really, the huge pound damage. So Yuna going to be even more important, or sorry, Yuna. Big Fat GG going to be even more important, although Big Fat GG looking really nice with already a Blasting Wand Doran's Ring as well, and working pretty well towards her Rod of Ages, pretty close now down the line. Looks like you're kind of dueling Ward and Trap here in the bush in the meantime. I think that's kind of cute. So Ashe, it looks like, is able to free farm. Team Gosu once again missing. Kind of a very uncomfortable situation for both teams. Looks like Elements has grabbed an Oracles to try to clear the wards that are out in the field. Ward play is absolutely huge. Looks like they're going to be able to knock one right there on that corner. St. Vicious is going to plant a ward near the Wraith in the meantime. That Dragon ward is also going to be cleared. Team CLG had to pull back a little bit there. In general, looks like I think Team Gosu just went back and bide. Need to see large Rod now out for Malzahar. He's got a lot of AP to him. 76 compared to Big Fat GG's. Well, actually, Big Fat GG in the lead there with 97 between the Blasting Wand, the Doran's Ring, and some just inherent levels. Zuna still playing very passively on top lane, has actually moved up to a Giant's belt. Magic Mantle going a little bit more beefy. You're probably going to see something very similar out of Mordekaiser on the opposite corner. In fact, I would not be surprised to see him go back and get a little bit more beef to himself as well. That's what you want to do with those big beefy tank support. St. Vicious now hanging out in this bottom lane near both Raiden and Tarek. And in the meantime, arrow hits Caitlyn. Nice hit. There's the support by St. Vicious with that ultimate. Knocks him out. Goodbye, Excessive. Great play by Elements to able to get in there, use the ult, absorb turret damage, and now that turret most certainly going to be taken out. Big Fat GG swinging in for support as well. Looking for something to kill. Tarek has already escaped. Instead, she's just going to back off, and you're going to have a turret exchange situation. Aragi and Yuna going to try to pound away at that middle turret in the meantime. They get pulled back, by the way, every time this replay goes back. Straight to the middle. It looks like, yeah, able to take out that mid turret. That's going to open up some of this mid jungle, depending on ward placement and whatnot. It looks like Tarek joining Aragi here. in the middle, just making sure, looking to see if team was going to swing up and support. Looks like not, and they've been completely spotted. But as long as they keep good ward control out in the middle section, they'll be fine. Bottom turret has been taken out there, actually evened up the overall kill to death ratio, but is that going to swing here? Hotshot GG being pushed back by both Malzahar and Zuna on that top lane. I think he's at level 11 at this stage. I just don't think he's been spotted on the replay system just yet, and we'll see if that happens once. I think who actually has vision? Once Big Fat GG gets a good look at Mordekaiser, still hasn't looked at him. Once again, Big Fat GG needs to be somewhat careful up in mid lane. Again, I think Malzahar's ult is up. I think his flash is up as well. So yeah, yes, you have command protect, but a lot of heroes still missing. You still need to be somewhat careful in the mid lane. Alistair coming up, swing around. So that, well, she could still actually be maybe a little bit more aggressive with Alistair that close nearby. It looks like she's going to swing to the northern jungle in the meantime. Caitlyn pulling back a little bit, dropping some traps in that edge just in case someone was pushing up. And here comes Tariq now with his oracles. It's going to start clearing wards out here on this side of the jungle, which is going to try to deny that vision. Let's see if he actually tries to cross. He's most likely going to try to cross in this area as well and try to clear out and basically it's going to go black on black. And this is where map information is absolutely critical, starting to get to the team fight stage of the match, gathering up, and where just massive gains become absolutely important, and keeping an eye on your opponent absolutely important. Zuna continuing to go tit for tat for Mordekaiser. He's being aggressive, and actually it looks like you have Yuna up here, you have Tariq up here, you have Zuna up here, and Mordekaiser all alone. Let's see, and actually it looks like Big Fat GG now engaging on blue buff, so they're going to be somewhat delayed if they were even planning on going up to support. Mordekaiser most certainly, and wow, everybody basically here. There's Tariq as well, stunned. Hotshot GG most certainly dead. Caitlyn in mid lane to provide some support there. That's going to allow Ashe to free farm the bottom lane. Top turret is going to be taken out, but maybe we'll see if there's going to be an attempted turret exchange situation. Caitlyn going to have great difficulty defending against all these characters. It's possible she would get dived by elements, so might just want to be backed off altogether. And it looks like, yeah, it is going to be a turret exchange situation. However, it looks like Team Gosu is going to... Ooh, creeps getting cleared off by the Gangplank ult. Let's see if they're going to be able to get top tower as well. Free farming Caitlyn going to engage Ashe. Again, we're going to range poke and force her off there. But mid turret down now for Team CLG. They're still down, well, turret and a half. Are they still going to be able to get this on the next creep spread? Aragi still in that area, so still a lot of characters up here. And let's see if they're just going to tank damage. No, waiting for the minions, now pressing in. So yeah, top turret is going to be down. Caitlyn still defending mid. Blockade there by elements. Ate a lot of damage there by Caitlyn, but he's okay. He's got that heal and whatnot. Caitlyn's still going to be able to play those creeps in middle. Elements actually just sitting at level 7. Actually pretty... under leveled, well, actually no, he's just about even. I take that back. Still around the level 8, but lowest level here currently in the game. They're all going to back off in the meantime. But in that exchange, things working out pretty well for Team Gosu. They got an additional kill. They cleared the entire top turret lane, but Team CLG able to swing back. They've managed to take out middle turret, bottom turret, of course, down as well, and Ashe able to get a little bit of free farm. However, looks like we do have Orianna. She's got her Rod of Ages up. Malzahar working his way. Let's see if he actually gets his rabbit on his death cap to follow this up. So he'll be a little bit more damage prone. He won't be as beefy. He'll be more of a glass cannon, but at the same time, if he can be protected by that Amumu, it could be all the difference. Now Raiden, again, continuing to clear those wards, continuing to push that vision here. We do have... yeah, 4 in this northern area, but still a lot of dragon backup. Let's see if Team Gosu goes for the dragon right here while a lot of this team is missing. I think they might have had good eyes on Ashe. Ashe going to spot it. They are, in fact, catching dragon here. Yuna swinging that direction, going to try to box Ashe out just in case. And here we have a team fight situation around jungle. Big Fat GG drawing Yuna back. Ashe coming in from the back corner, and let's see if she has Ashe out. There's Arrow missing everybody though. Zuna re-engaging. Alistair able to get in the mix of it. Yuna completely boxed off, and it looks like his his damage per second hitting absolutely no end. Zuna getting focused. Ashe able to somehow sneak through all of that, and all of a sudden Team CLG in a fantastic situation. There's the pirate ult as well. Yuna dies. Zuna just barely escapes with a bit of health in a great situation. Great team fight from Team CLG, able to end up ahead in that. Great positioning. I've got to say, with Ashe on that back edge, I didn't think she was going to be able to, or Chowster was going to be able to get a lot accomplished there, but able to sneak in. Ashe arrow missing didn't matter. Still able to get all sorts of damage accomplished. Now they're going to be able to take out mid turret. They're going to be able to swing through, take blue buff, big swing, and maybe even do a considerable amount of damage on that top turret. And maybe, well, they're probably going to back off. They probably wouldn't want a team fight after that because the team will be back up in just a second, but still might be able to get a little bit of damage up on that top turret before escaping. It looks like Hotshot GG is going to pull out while he can. He is somewhat low on health. There is a big minion push top. There is somewhat of a minion push bottom, but that turret can absorb some damage here. I mean, 4 heroes, and actually they might be able to take it out with 4 of them here, and it looks like they are, in fact, going to be able to take that tower out. You can see Team Gosu just stringing along in the meantime and starting to engage here in that northern jungle. Raiden clearing out wards where he can to follow this up. So, big win for Team CLG. They've actually taken the kill lead. They're up 4-3 now. They're actually up on turrets as well. Some nice positioning. Ooh, Tarek going to try to clear that ward, but getting caught by Big Fat GG over the corner. Big Fat GG unloading all sorts of damage on top of him. Aragi pushing up as well, but he needs to be careful. Doesn't have the entire team. Caitlyn moving up, and it looks like that ward will stand. They're getting pushed out there. And actually, ooh, careful, Big Fat GG. Doesn't want to wander too far into that brush just in case there's a trap laid there. But they're going to rejoin mid lane. Looks like Alistair rejoining this fight as well. He's got the Ionian boots to get some of that cooldown. Also has a heart of gold, a little bit of additional beef. Also some more health and gold per second here action on. One thing I do want to comment on, that looks like 2 full Wrigglers. Wrigglers you can also think of kind of a gold per second item, because those are wards you might have been buying anyway. So it's great map control, vision control, options on Baron, options on quick dragon take. Also helps you clear this jungle a lot. Well, clear anything really extremely fast, and they're probably going to give red buff this time to Ashe to get that on-slow attack as well as additional damage over time. And now starting to push towards bottom. Caitlyn out of position with Malzahar in that middle corner. Zuna getting hit by that arrow. Is this going to be a kill? No, he's going to be backed off. He's 2 pushed back, but big minion push behind this. Now the team coming up, but no minions to follow. And this is a very difficult team fight situation. Nice ult by GG, catching essentially everyone right there. Looks like there is a Rabadon's death cap out for Malzahar, but Malzahar needs to be very, very careful. He's got a lot of AP to him, like 257, much more than Big Fat GG, but he needs to have someone to position on. He needs to have them stunned by the Amumu. He needs to be able to just unload damage. And on top of that, he's a glass cannon. He's very, very squishy. He doesn't have any... He's only got the Doran's Ring. Ult from Pirate to clear the minions, to push the heroes back as well. And they're going to be able to clear that tower while that Pirate ult goes off. They did not want to dive into that Pirate ult to engage there. Turret going to get taken out. Nice ult there by Saint Vicious to clear that tower. They're going to be able to pull back, probably clear top lane. Big win right there, up 4-3. Finally, Team Gosu going to start moving out into the jungle. Most likely going to see Tark clear that ward in the southern lane. But currently, things have turned around from Team CLG. They're in a great position. They've got nice turret control. Yuna, they've actually spread their heroes out very, very well. It looks like Amumu mostly going a little bit of tank, but also has that... can't say it. Magic resist. He has magic resistance to him, so he can do a little bit more beefy towards Orianna. Really, I think that's the character he's going to want to try to isolate. On top of that, Ashe, obviously. The Ashe doesn't have an Infinity Edge, keep in mind, so she's doing a little bit less damage. But Big Fat GG, that plus the Mordekaiser, they can just unload a lot of damage. Very pokily. Very position-wise, and they want to try to play, again, as spread out as possible. They don't want to get hit by Namumu ult. They do not want to be grouped up and sitting underneath that, the big purple splotch. Nice hit on Caitlyn. Caitlyn is the attack damage carry, so she has to escape from this fight. This is one of those situations where Gosu just has to run, and it looks like Raiden is caught out of position, so 1 kill from Big Fat GG as well. Looks like Tarek going to be annihilated on top of it, and Ashe getting the kills. Ooh, that's a good person to have those kills as well, and Elements now going to be able to push this front line, knocking up all of those minions. Again, great positioning. Wow, that Ashe arrow was clutch by Chowster. Malzahar being pushed back. Looks was not. I don't think that silence actually hit. But yeah, I don't think it hit anybody there. They're gonna join Malzahar, Mordekaiser on this top lane, starting to push that turret. Gonna group up. This turret is going to get taken out very, very rapidly. Tarek just now respawning. Keep in mind, it's gonna be a while before anyone else is able to gather up. Alistair taking a little bit of hit, but now pushing on there. Ooh, Rumble coming from that corner. Never mind, they save the turret, pushing up along that corner, still poking at it, and you can see every time that ball's tossed, it's like a fifth to an eighth of the health of an opponent. So that Orianna, so scary. Gathering up in that top bush, just going to hide in there. Looks like Team Gosu is actually swinging around. They're looking for, so they were expecting, well, actually expecting them to be in the lower bushes, still poking around. They're looking for a team fight. If they are, this could be a desperate situation. If they get gathered up and hit by the Mumo, it could be desperate. There is, Elements getting pounded a lot. They have isolated Big Fat GG, but at the same time, Excessive getting annihilated, and Malzahar, he has a ghost. Oh my goodness. And now it is all of a sudden essentially a 6-on-3 situation. Great arrow! And this looks like it might be a full team kill situation, or Araragi getting pounded away at as well. And that was great isolation and poundage damage on the carries on the opposite team. CLG completely isolating the Malzahar and the Caitlyn. away from their tanks. A Mumu not able to get anything accomplished. Now they still have a lot of health on them. Big Fat GG actually taking that turret for a little bit of that shield damage, and going to switch to the minion right there briefly, and they're going to be able to get an inhibitor on top of it. And now is a situation where they can just run up and take Baron if they want to. Now that the inhibitor's down, they also, keep in mind, can get it fairly quickly with or quicker with that Regal's Lantern. Yuna starting to press up. Again, he's so squishy. As the Rabadon's death cap, he's a little bit of life steal with magic damage at the same time, but everything is basically focused around that Amumu, and that Amumu can accomplish with his ult. And it almost feels like it's not, I'm just not seeing it being utilized very well in any of these fights. Blue buff down. It looks like they're not going to, well, I don't think they'll go for Baron. They're actually quick and in hot pursuit. Zuna pushing up as well. I love that Big Fat GG still sticking around and poking away at this nevertheless. And look at all that damage she's able to unleash. Targ able to provide a little bit of heal, but it's like a slight survival heal rather than a big heal like you'd see out of Soraka. By the way, this is before the Talon patch, so healing is still somewhat powerful here. That is going to be, all the heals have been nerfed across the board immediately after this patch, but currently things looking fantastic for Team CLG. They're up 10-3. Ooh, chasing down Orianna. Orianna has that shield up, trying to get out. She was hit by slow by Zuna. She does not have flash up, flashed out of position probably to get to this location. Swing back around. That again, that's the power of Orianna. She can, while fleeing, she can poke. So even though she took a lot of damage there, well, took some damage there, didn't take a ton of damage, and she was still able to run, still able to shoot that ball, still able to actually unload. And it looks like Gangplank dropping the ult, looks like hit Yuna for a little bit, and they're looking to team engage, which is probably a great situation considering how low Malzahar, a little bit out of position. Elements getting caught by a trap. That was a nice save by Caitlyn to drop that and box him out. They do not want to engage here currently. The 10-3 situation. Hotshot GG coming along the corner. Ashe following it up, clearing a few creeps on that top wave. They do have a super mini pushing in as well. And Malzahar having to flash out almost inside of his own base. He does have an ult on top of him. Hotshot GG, now that his shield is down, is going to back off. But this is most certainly going to open up an opportunity for Baron. And Ashe already right there, already has Infinity Edge on top with Pirate Gangplank, both with Regal's Lantern. Big Fat GG now coming to support Hotshot GG and Alistair, and it looks like, yeah, excessive. Everybody else realizing, oh crap, Baron probably already knew it. They're going to try to push up, but they have this huge minion push in the middle lane. Raiden's just going to have to sit and provide some support, so it's just going to have to be a desperation situation. And it looks like Zuna ran up, tried to steal Baron. Didn't happen though. Wow, and that corpse just finally fell. At that stage, ran up, tried to get a steal, instead got annihilated. Now Team CLG can just back off with this Baron buff, and they have got full map control. This is most likely going to be the winning situation. Yuna looking, playing a little bit sloppy now, and I think he knows the game's over at this stage. So getting caught out of position by the Alistair, by the Mordekaiser, going to die most certainly. Yeah, nice flash pop up and pop back. Malzahar gone. Caitlyn and Taric having to sit in base, watch it happen as they're just trying to defend their turrets. Minion pushes absolutely everywhere across all of these lanes. Big Fat GG gonna sneak in, and yeah, there's the GG call. Well played by Team CLG, down a little bit initially, but able to turn it around against Team Gosu. Really well played, and I'll try to get the rest of these, the rest of these commentaries done for you guys. And sorry about the audio on the first one. Hopefully the audio was better on this one. And if you feel like playing with me, I play every night. Twitch TV to relax. Twitch.tv/DignitySC with a bunch of people. A lot of fun, just very relaxing. And any comments, please give them to me. Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for all of the delays.